Hello everyone, today I'm working on my D51 again. So I did this locomotive a little while back and amazingly it ran even though it had busted gears. I was lucky I was able to find a replacement part. So 4,000 yen, just so you know, is $36 US. I just looked it up. So we're gonna install this today. So I was very lucky to get this. I don't think it's all that easy to find that particular replacement part. And also, if you don't have this engine, you probably don't need to buy it. So it came with that one, which is brand new in the package. And then there's another one. There's a second one that I got with it. So I might be able to fool around with that and make something out of it. We'll see. Let's string it out. Of course, you want to be gentle with this because it has all the very fine running gear. So that looks amazing. I'm gonna get my knife. I'm just gonna cut this here. This seems to be the place that is not so so fragile. There. Now the reason why they had this band protecting the engine is because the weight will fall off. I'll just take this off for you so you can take a look. So this is a version of the D51 that came out just a little bit later. Incidentally, I looked up the name of all of these just now on Google. So this one is called your side rod. This one here that leads to the piston is your main rod. This is called an excenter crank. This is called an excenter rod. So these are made out of metal on the later ones. So on my old one, it's all made of plastic, which is still good. It's still good to have it made out of plastic. It didn't cause any issues or any problems. Just the Kato decided later on to improve on that. So before I switch it over, I'm gonna try it on the bench and make sure that it works. So there's time if I feel that I need to make some changes, there's time to do that on the bench. Wow, it's a real good runner. Absolutely no problems there. So I'll need to remove my shell again, which this is amazingly easy to work on. Could you Americanize this? Sure you could. Should you? I'm not so sure. There's some real good American heavy 282s available. So if I wanted an American engine, I would probably spend my time and money on the heavy Mikado, the American one. So I'm probably going to reuse this motor because it's wired in to the tender. So I'll change all the running gear, but I'm going to keep the motor that's been wired in, as you can see here and under here. So I'm gonna take the trailing truck and the pilot truck out because I'm gonna reuse these on the new one. So this thing, even though it has broken gears, actually still runs good. So I'm still going to be keeping it on these. The pilot and the trailing truck are hooked onto this bottom plate that has the brakes, so I'm still going to be keeping that. And then my motor is still attached to the frame. I don't have to take everything apart to get to it. There's two little screws that hold the two frame halves together. Actually, I'm going to put this one back because it will hold all my wheels, because I may reuse this at some point. You never know. I'm going to want my wheels to be still synchronized together. So I'm going to put them back to their holes. Did I put that upside down? I don't think so. So this will hold my wheels in while I remove the motor. So I have these. I have the two little screws. I'm not going to take them out all the way. I'm just going to loosen them. This should allow me to remove the motor. So I still want to be gentle with that, but I should be able to take it out nevertheless. I'm going to find a little spot where I can spread it out, like so. And that should release my motor. I may remove the screw altogether. There. And then let's see if I can spread this apart to remove the motor. Oh yeah, I got plenty of room. There we go. So that can be put back together with its little screw. That can wait there with its weight. And then I can remove the motor from this one to do the same thing. You can hear my cat playing in the background. It's not very interested in model railroads, this cat, so it's a pretty good cat. Then it's the same thing. I should be able to spread this apart a little bit to help me remove the motor. Let me work on that off camera. The only reason why I want to reuse the old motor is because it has wires that are already soldered in. Otherwise I would use the new one, but the old one works fine. So good news, while I was manipulating this, one of the tender wires came loose, so we can do some soldering today. That's not the end of the world. So this last little plastic part, it helps the motor to stay in its place. And we can put the pilot truck and the trailer truck back on. Don't forget to tighten all your screws, including the two screws that we loosened before. Now I've got to just resolder this top wire here that's been hanging out there. I have to resolder that to the top here. I'm going to do it off camera because I need to focus. Now I only need to resolder this top wire here. So once I have that done, then we'll be ready to go. I'm going to do it off camera because I need to focus. Soldering your parts into place like that, it's always very tricky because you can end up melting some of the plastic. So I'm going to have to come up with something good here. So ultimately you can solder it off the motor and then reassemble it. So that was hard work, but I got it done. So now I'm going to test it on the bench just to make sure everything's working. So I'll just put my leads up to it. So that runs really good. I'm even going to go try it on the track before I put the shell back on. You need this weight here before you go on the track, otherwise it's not going to have the correct weight. So let me just put some power to it. Because everything's brand new, I don't feel there's any need to put any lubrication. That's so beautiful. Now I can put my shell back on. That got scary a little bit there, but I'm glad I could make it run at the end. It's a pretty detailed shell, but between you and me, the American one, the heavy Mikado, it's got just a little bit more detail. That should come in and snap in there. Let me work off camera a little bit. So I've got a few extra parts left over. Probably one day I'll have a project for that. But anyways, this D51 is ready to go. And now it's time to run some trains. Just listen to how smooth it runs. That's why I always go back to Kato. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.